1 second. Great. Okay, so I hope you guys can see my slides. So for those of you who are already in the emGuarde family, I'm very happy to announce this is emGuarde's latest product. We have launched in emGuarde Malaysia in May. That was 5 months ago. And it has already been launched in Singapore. That's why we have a lot of Singaporean friends here as well on tonight's Zoom. And moving forward, the rest of the world that we have emGuarde presence. Okay, so it's a very exciting time for emGuarde, and those of you who have already been in emGuarde for some time, who here you have been in emGuarde, you've been with emGuarde for more than a year, type me in the chat box, right? If you've been with emGuarde for more than a year, and it could be 2 years, it could be 3 years. Now, depending on how, sorry, I'm going to talk a little bit slower today because having a cough. Now, depending on how many years you've been in the emGuarde business, this right here, I've been telling a lot of my own team members around the world that this is emGuarde 2.0. This is emGuarde 2.0. If you have missed the big wave, if you felt you've missed the big wave of Kangen water some years ago in your town or your city, don't miss the emGuarde wave. That's all I can say, and I'll let the rest do the talking. All right. So introducing emGuarde Japan's latest patented technology, the emGuarde. And what does emGuarde stand for? emGuarde stands for electromagnetic guard, which means this patented technology is designed and developed to protect us and our loved ones from the harm of electromagnetic radiation. Let me ask everybody a question. Who here, even before this Zoom, you are aware that devices, phones, laptops, and the things around us emits radiation and it is harmful for us? Type 1 in the chat box. Means you're already aware of such a harm, right? Even before attending this Zoom. Type 1 in the chat box. And I believe there are a lot of people out there who are very informed. They read about it, they see it on the news, they see it on journals, even technology companies themselves ask you to make sure you don't overuse devices. But we have never had a solution. Okay, we have never had a solution. So now emGuarde, the timing of this is just phenomenal, where devices are just getting more and more. And now emGuarde has decided to introduce their latest technology. Because, ladies and gentlemen, how did we grow up 20 years ago compared to today? All right, some of you, including myself, we grew up like this, right? We never had iPads, we never had gadgets, we never had laptops, internet connection, TikTok, YouTube, all those stuff. We never had it. So we were living and we were growing up a much more healthy and organic life, right? We were playing outside, getting dirty under the rain, playing football and all that stuff. But if you were to look at the kids growing up today, who here, this is a common phenomenon in your household? Type gadgets in the chat box. If this is a common phenomenon in your own household, where it could be your own kid, it could be your niece, your nephew, or even your grandchildren, and they are just glued to the phone. Yeah, type gadget in the chat box. And this is something that is happening everywhere around the world. Yeah, so it is a cause for concern. Look at that child on the right. Yeah, look at the child on the right. Can you see how close the iPad is to their face? So I'm going to share with you a news that came out a couple of weeks ago, and some of you could even be aware of this. It was all over the news portal by BBC, by all these big broadcast news portals around the world online, that France halts iPhone 12 sales over radiation levels. They actually halted the sales of iPhone 12 because it exceeded the permissible radiation range. And this was a global news around the world. It was a global news. And Belgium later on wanted to follow suit in France. So it was a big news for Apple and for the citizens of these countries, and even all of us who was reading this kind of news and thinking, this thing in our lap, in our pocket, in our bags, is it actually good for us or causing a lot of harm? So today we're going to find out exactly how bad they are. Now, here I have an animation But this animation depicts a real life scenario in a home if you're living in a city. And if you can see the electromagnetic radiation, this is how it would look like. It would be white lines radiating all around your living room, your study room, or your bedroom. Now, I'm sure if you can see the radiation, you will not even dare to sit in your living room in comfort, in peace, right? Because you can actually see the radiation. But the scary thing about electromagnetic radiation is it is invisible. Yeah, it is invisible. You can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't touch it, but it affects all of us. So what are our typical EMR sources? I'm going to use the word EMR from here on, and EMR stands for electromagnetic radiation. It's a short form. And so what are the typical EMR sources around us? Phones, laptop, sockets, we have microwave, we have LED lights, we have air conditioning, television, and people, they live near these high tension wires as well. And that is another form of electromagnetic radiation. So Tika is asking a lot of questions. Just stay put. You'll find out more as we go on to the presentation. Okay, you'll find out more. Now, this book, for those of you who are in Malaysia, you could be familiar with a association called Consumer Association of Penang. It's one of our states here in Malaysia. They published this book years ago, and they called it Low Level Radiation, the Invisible Killer, Growing Threat from Electromagnetic Fields. So this book, from the looks of the cover and the kind of animation they use, it's an old book. And even those old type of devices, they are already talking about low-level radiation, the invisible killer. So I want you to just imagine the type of devices that we have today. Is the radiation compared to the old devices lower or higher? You be the judge of it, and you have to answer, put it into the chat box. If you think the devices today have lower or higher radiation compared to the older devices. All right. So back in 2011, this is by WHO, World Health Organization. They actually classified electromagnetic fields as possibly carcinogenic to humans. Now, this was 12 years ago, and they speak about possibly carcinogenic. And for those of you who don't know what carcinogenic means, carcinogenic means it is cancerous. It's possible to cause cancer to humans. Now, it is based on an increased risk of glioma, a malignant type of brain cancer associated with wireless phone use. So you will start to think, how come WHO 12 years ago talk about electromagnetic frequencies as possibly carcinogenic, yet phones are still allowed to be sold around the world? Because very simple, we can't live without our smartphones. That's why many phone companies, including Apple, they have an exclusion clause on their legal and regulatory column in the phone itself to tell us to reduce exposure to RF energy, use hands-free like speakerphone, headphone, or other similar accessories. Who here, you have been on a phone call maybe for 5 to 10 minutes and you have felt your ears or the side of your face heat up and you start to sweat? Type 1 in the chat box. You're sweating, right, on the side of your face. And then what do? You switch it to the other side of your face, right? So I have a joke. When you are talking on the phone, on your ear, you're actually cooking this side of your brain. You're actually cooking this side of your brain. And it's like how people make a chicken steak or a beef steak. They will cook both sides, right, to make sure that it's perfectly cooked. And that is how we do it when we start to switch the sides of our ears on the phones. All right, we are actually cooking our brains. So how does EM radiation or EMR affect our health? This is where the tool comes in, like what Tika asked just now. Now, this tool, before I show it to you guys, I want to let you guys understand the measurement first. Now, the measurement of this tool is in microwatts. So for those of you who are more technical, you understand that symbol, right? That U with the long thing in the front, it's micro, and big W for watts. Now, if you guys understand what is watts, it's always the power density or the power output, right? It's all about the power. So microwatts means this tool, or we call it the radiation detector, is able to measure the power density of the different radiation source that is around us. And it is by using a meter. For those of you who are in the Kangen business, we have different meters, right? We have pH meter, we have ORP meters. to measure different kind of things. But here in emGuarde, we use this radiation detector to detect the EMR. All right. Now, if it's in between 0 to 200 microwatts per centimeter square, it is not very dangerous. Anything above 200, 1,000, 1,005 to 2,000, these are what we call the orange zone to the red zones, which are very dangerous if exposed to in a long-term basis. So what are the symptoms? Ear sinus problem, especially in kids, concentration and learning problems. You would see now a lot of kids, they can't concentrate, they can't read a book, they can't because they get all these frequencies around them at a very young age. Brain cancer in most severe cases, memory loss, fatigue, dizziness, heart problem, infertility, headache, body and muscle pain. A lot of people, when they use their computer for a couple hours, they feel muscle pain and they think it's their chair or the way that they're sitting. It is also because of the frequencies coming out from our devices. Eye soreness, immune system, sleeping problem. Who here you charge your phone in your room? Be honest, type 1 in the chat box. Some people even charge it right next to them. Yeah, I'm one of those people. I charge my phone right next to where I sleep. Big mistake. Didn't know better, right? Didn't know any better. And I don't sleep well at night before emGuarde. I used to wake up 2 a.m., 3 a.m., play on my phone, check Facebook, go to the toilet, come back. Stress and anxiety problem, DNA mutation, and even skin irritation. Now, what I'm going to do now is I want you guys to look at the reading on the slide, which is between 0 to 2,000. And now I'm going to share with you some pre-recorded videos that are very important to show you what is the amount on this. One that had a high tension wire near to it. And he documented the entire process and he narrates through the video. So what he'll be using is something called a radiation detector. Okay, so I want you guys to watch this video and you will get what he's trying to say.
This is where I used to live, and across the road, less than 100 meters, this is the high tension cable. Let me show you what I mean by very high density of electric field intensity. So currently, if you notice, right, when I turn on the detector,
now this is the older model of the detector. Let me give you guys some context. If it shows number 1, it means the power density has exceeded 2,000 microwatts. So anything above 2,000, 2,100, 2,200, it will only show a number 1. That means the power density of the frequency being blasted onto this area of this street is above 2,000 microwatts.
as you can see, the entire airspace around my house is 1,500 microwatts. Now this direction is where the high tension cable is not behind the ring, so there is nothing there. But once I move the detector towards the high tension cable, if you notice, the reading is between 1,800 microwatts to 2,000 microwatts steadily.
Can you guys see that? Did you guys understood that video? I think it was pretty straightforward. He was about 50 to years show you a video that I've made myself. And this is to show you guys the levels coming out from
let's test how much radiation
our devices
exposed to. All right, so I'm going to use my radiation.
So we have the same tool here, and if we put it onto
so the phones are emitting tremendous amounts of radiation.
It's also above 2000 microwatts, but you notice I had to go very close. The moment you go a little bit far, a little bit further away from the phone, because the detector actually measures microwatts per centimeter square. But when you go a little bit further from it, it actually drops down to 1005 or 1400. Does it mean the radiation is not there? No, because a typical radiation source like a phone or a laptop radiates frequencies from 1 to 3 meters. That's why a lot of people ask me, Simon, I'm not watching television right in front of the device. You know, it's about 2 meters away from me or a meter away from me. But as long as you're within the vicinity of 3 meters of an EM radiation source, you are getting affected. Yeah, it's about 1 to 3 meters, depending on the device in your house.
All right, and let's look at our laptop.
If you look at the laptop, it is also 2000
as well. All right, so what we're going to do now?
So what we're going to do now here is we're going to take on the emGuarde. And what you're going to see in this video is I'm going to turn on the emGuarde while the detector is still on the phone or the laptop. And I want you guys to see what does the emGuarde do to the radiation sources around us.
We're going to plug in the emGuarde by Enagic. Okay, just like that. So it's turned on now. And we're going to go back to the phone. It is completely zero. And the laptop is zero as well when the emGuarde is turned on. So currently...
So can you guys see that when the emGuarde is turned on, the magic happens when you put the detector onto any EM radiation source, could be your zero. And I have another one for you guys. This is measuring radiation coming up from our cars, because we are spending hours and hours a day in our vehicles. And the new generation of vehicles, as you know, like most vehicles, you have this huge control panel in the middle, filled with wiring, filled with LCD screens, and emitting all sorts of radiation. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. I'm going to be using the detector to measure the levels in this car. And when you turn it on, it instantly goes to above 2000 microwatts. Can you guys see that? This is worrying, guys. You know, places where we spend a lot of time, hours upon hours a day, and this is the levels we're exposed to. Okay, so I'm just going to increase the volume a little bit. Right, so the emGuarde, you can also use it in your car. You know, you can plug it into the cigarette butt because it's a USB.
And let's test it now. Okay, let's test
it. And once the emGuarde is turned on, take a look at that.
Once the
emGuarde goes is on, to
I am
zero.
Totally protected by all.
And you can take the detector to the back side of the car, to the middle of the car, you know, whichever part of the car, it will still show a zero, because the emGuarde has a coverage range of 4 by 4 meters. 4 by 4 meters. The minimum coverage range of the emGuarde, depending on the area. Yeah. So when you're in an open area, the emGuarde can even cover further than 4 by 4. But to be conservative, Enagic has said that the minimum is 4 by 4. So let me get back to the slides. Those are the videos that, let me show you guys something since we're on the call. Yeah, so those are the videos that we have pre-recorded. And I actually have my own radiation detector here. So if you guys can focus on my camera, if you guys can focus on my camera, I have purposely turned off the emGuarde in my room. And I want to show you guys now when emGuarde is available in your countries, you will also be getting these detectors. All right. So I don't know if you can see my screen. You can see it's beeping and it's already showing about a couple hundred microwatts of reading. I'm near to my laptop. But can you see once I put the phone behind behind the detecting ring. Can somebody just type it out? What number do they see? It fluctuates. You don't have to be accurate. Can you guys type out what is the number you guys see on the detector? How much is it? Just type out the first number that you see, the first 4 digits. All right. So this is the latest one, and this would show above 2000 microwatts. And there you go. So you guys are telling me 2008, 2001, 2930. That is the level of radiation coming out from my phone. Okay. And that is worrying because according to the FCC, anything above 1000 microwatts, exposing to it for a long-term basis is already considered very dangerous. And we have something that is emitting close to 3000 microwatts, and we're using it every day like nobody's business. Okay? And I want to share with you the research of Dr. Magda. Now, she's a Canadian researcher. You may look up her name later after this Zoom. And she researches in the environmental and health effects of electromagnetic pollution. Her work focuses on the biological effects of electromagnetic radiation. And what she has found out was when our body is in a healthy red blood cell environment, in a clean EMI environment, clean EMI environment means your body's not affected by radiation. Perhaps you're on a holiday in a village, on top of a mountain somewhere, beach, somewhere near the beach, where you don't have so many gadgets and radiation around you. Perhaps our blood looks like that, healthy red blood cell, right? It's free flowing. The moment we use our computer for about 70 minutes, something called the rouleau formation starts to form. The rouleau formation simply means your red blood cell starts to stack together. And is stacking of red blood cells good news? Absolutely not, because it will lead to poor circulation, low oxygen transport. That's why some of you, when you're using your phone for some time, you feel the numbness and the tingling sensation in your fingers, right? It is because of the red blood cells clumping together. So when you have this kind of formation for an extended period of time, according to Dr. Magda, you can even experience headache, reduce waste, reduce waste removal, headache, concentration problem, numbness, tingling, and even cold extremities. 70 minutes on the laptop. Now, just take a look at 10 minutes on the phone. It is even worse. Yeah, the rouleau formation is even worse. It's like a bunch of worms stuck together. We call red blood cells. Okay, and we found it to be very true, even among one of my downlines here in Kuala Lumpur. Now, this is one of my team members. He's in his late 60s. We actually did a live blood analysis, and it was administered by the Sky Clinic in Kuala Lumpur. It's a clinic in Kuala Lumpur. You can look them up on Google. And the doctor there was kind enough to help us administer this blood test. And what we have found out is after 20 minutes of using his phone, the doctor took some blood samples from his fingertips, and this is what we saw. This is what we saw. It was a bunch of red blood cells all stacked up together. Yeah. So when we saw it, was like, wow, this is what we call the rouleau formation. We used to see it on the slides, and now we're seeing it live. And I want you guys to see the next picture, which is another 20 minutes with mobile phone usage, but with the emGuarde turned on. I want you guys to see the difference. Once I saw this, I was convinced on how the technology worked, because take a look at this, guys. Same person using the same phone, same environment, another 20 minutes, but with the emGuarde turned on. Do you guys see a huge difference? Type yes if you're seeing a huge difference. One, you see a coin-like, stacking coin-like structure on the left, and on the right, you see individual red blood cells free-flowing with more than one layer in the Petri dish. I don't know what kind of product in the market today. That's why I'm so happy that Enagic has taken this on, because I've not seen a product in the market today where you can just turn a switch on and it does this to the body. All right, it's amazing. And by the way, for those of you who are wondering, is emGuarde patented? Answer is yes. And in the patent itself, it states that emGuarde helps to improve micro blood circulation. Where can you get the patent number? Just visit www.emguarde.com, and that is emGuarde with an E behind. Okay, so amazing results. We have seen it. So we call this the environment harmonizer, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing much to talk more about emGuarde. It is a very clear-cut device. We have EMR pollution around us. When this is turned on, it protects us within the coverage range, and it defends our family. It does not affect our phone lines, our 4G, our Wi-Fi. We still use it as usual because emGuarde does not affect signals. It is only deflecting the partial discharge, or we call it electromagnetic radiation, from devices, and it is low maintenance. It is as good as a router. You find a place in your house to put it there, as in the middle of your house, and you just leave it on 24/7, and it has a lifespan of minimum of 5 years, yeah, or more. So far, emGuarde has been launched in Malaysia and Singapore, and we are selling tremendously well here. In fact, my team became the top 3 selling team in Malaysia for emGuarde because people simply love this technology. And this is the coverage range of emGuarde, 8 meters. Yeah, 8 meters of defense. Yeah, designed to reduce negative effects of EM waves, ensuring a safe and harmonious environment. So how it works, ladies and gentlemen, in short, in summary, every EM radiation source requires a pathway for the energy to transfer. Remember just now when I showed you the detector, when it was reading 2,500, 2,800 microwatts, that is the power density. Now, how does the power density flow to us? It is through a pathway. It is through a frequency pathway. Okay, so what does the emGuarde do? When the emGuarde is turned on, the technology behind it is it sends out something called a harmonics frequency. Can somebody type that in the chat box so you guys can remember this word, which we will be using very often in the emGuarde business? Harmonics frequency. Yeah, it is a low energy opposing frequency to break the pathway of the EM radiation source. I don't like to get too technical on this. If you want to know in depth on how the emGuarde works, please join the Telegram group. We have 1-2 hours of lectures and trainings on the technical side of emGuarde already in the Telegram group. Please feel free to review those trainings. All right, it breaks the pathway. Therefore, the EM radiation source has lost its pathway to transfer the power density. And that's why it doesn't affect us. That's why when we do the blood test after the emGuarde is turned on, the blood is not clogged up together because the energy and the power density from the EMR source has been dispersed, all right, or cancelled out. Now, this is emGuarde's compliance testing lab report. On the left, it's to measure the waves coming up from a EM radiation source. All right, I will send Race Wallace. I will send the Telegram group at the end of on the Zoom. Yeah, I will just copy paste it into the chat box. Don't worry about that. Now on the left, you have the radiation source. Okay, so you can see it's all connected, right? Because the energy, they're all connected together. Now on the right, what happened is in this lab report, you're able to see how the harmonics frequency work in a lab setting. Now, this was a lab in Shenzhen in China. It is a compliance testing lab. And once the emGuarde is turned on, you can see that the energy has been trapped in peaks. Means there's no continuation of the energy anymore. Means it has lost its pathway to transfer or transmit the power density of the radiation like this. So this is the animation of it. This is the animation of it, and that one is the lab results of it. So you have two perspectives to see how emGuarde actually works. So this is how the animation works, and this is how the lab tests work. So I think until now, you guys have seen enough on the emGuarde. It's a very simple technology. And if you want access to all these documents on the SGS report, by the way, emGuarde is SGS certified. They have gone through a lot of testing with FGS. So that you can, and under SGS, it also covers the FCC, which is what they use in America, and CE in the Europe. And you can get this on https emguarde.com. The link is on the bottom left. Yeah, emguarde.com. All the testing, all the reports is already on the website. All right. So the emGuarde slogan by emGuarde. Now, we used to know that Kangen water is change your water, change your life. Now, when it comes to emGuarde, the new slogan is change your environment, change your life. Because when we learn to take care of the environment, when we are aware of the ways of the energies around us, and we're able to change it, if we're able to protect ourselves, that's where we feel life. That's where we feel more energetic. That's where people start to feel fresher in their home and their offices. Today in the morning at 11 a.m. Malaysian time, we had a Wednesday meeting, and I got on a few people to come on and share about how they felt after taking the emGuarde home and turning it on in their house. And literally, we had 3 to 4 people that came on the Zoom saying that they are sleeping better than ever. They are not having interrupted sleep. They are having deep sleep. They are sleeping all the way through. They don't feel the tingling sensation anymore using their phones. And there was even one person that commented their eyesight actually improved after the emGuarde is turned on. Yeah, so these are the testimonials so far in the last 5 months that we have gathered. And in Malaysia and Singapore, I believe the company has sold a few thousand units already and counting. So the retail price in Malaysia is 6,620 ringgit. Now, globally, the price for your respective branch will still be determined by, euros or pounds, wherever you are. But the sales value set by emGuarde globally, it is $1,480. Yeah, per emGuarde. And for all of us who are into the emGuarde business, we know that we've been selling Kangen water machines for $4,000 to $5,000. Now we have a product that is patented, that is revolutionary in my opinion, and it is less than 50% of the cost of a Kangen machine, and is also targeted to help us to achieve better health and wellness. So I don't know if you guys really understand right now when I talk about emGuarde 2.0. This is emGuarde 2.0. And I can't wait for emGuarde to be going all around the world. Okay. Farah asks, what about nuclear radiation? No, it does not cover nuclear radiation. The emGuarde focuses on harmonizing electromagnetic radiation, nothing to do with nuclear. Okay? Wei Chang asks how to explain when asked the harmonic frequency does not affect or impact our being. That's why it is SGS certified. They test the harmonic frequencies, that it is within a safe range, and the energy is extremely low. It does not affect our body. If not, it wouldn't pass the testing being safe to use in Europe, America, and Malaysia. Yeah, so it's 100% safe. And by the way, emGuarde technology has already been in the market for some time. All right, so it's not a brand new product. It's just that emGuarde has recently took over. Okay, so I hope I've answered your questions. And now I'm going to go into a very, very important part of tonight's Zoom, which is the business side of it. Now, for those of you who are already in the emGuarde business, who here you're already in the emGuarde business, you're already a distributor. Type 1 in the chat box. You're already registered. You have bought your Kangen machine, your Ukon, or your Anaspa before this. Right? And I believe there are some of you who are completely new. Yeah? Some of you who are completely new. Good. Okay? Now, if you're already in the business, you can already immediately start to market emGuarde when it comes to your territory. I believe everybody should buy an emGuarde for themselves after seeing all the demo. By the way, who here, you already want to get an emGuarde for yourself? Forget about the business for the moment, but just for yourself. Type emGuarde in the chat box after seeing what I've just presented to you. Yeah? So get it when it comes to your territory. I've personally bought already 3 for my house. I have 3 emGuardes. I don't know. I want to cover every corner of it because we have literally devices everywhere. Every kitchen appliance, any appliance or LED lights are radiation sources. And I just basically cover my entire house. I bought 3 units and another one for the travel because travel a lot. Okay, one thing. Who here you travel a lot? Type 3. you travel a lot. You take a flight every other month, whether domestic or international. Anybody? You are a frequent traveler? Oh, congratulations, Joel. You bought 3 units. Any frequent travelers here? Because for those of you who frequent travelers, I want to talk to you about emGuarde and take it on the plane, guys. Because when you're sitting on the chair, what is behind your head? What is behind your head when you're sitting on the airplane chair? What is right behind you? Can somebody give me an answer? Crazy, yeah, when you start to think about it. Exactly, Farah, thank you. The TV monitor of your neighbor behind you, right? It's right on your head. Yeah, and we're sitting on it for hours when we take an international flight. So whenever I travel, I make sure that I have the emGuarde with me on board and I plug it into the USB port. Yeah, because the emGuarde comes with a USB port. You just plug it in. Yeah, so those of you who are traveling, please make sure to get one for the travel. All right, so for Enagic, this is more for the benefit of the new people. We are a 49-year-old Japanese company based out of Okinawa, Japan, going strong, opening up new markets every single year. And these are the founders of Enagic, Mr. and Mrs. Oshiro, established the company in 1974, and with offices all around the world. Currently, Enagic has 25 countries with 42 locations, and our team started in Malaysia. We also went to India, Dubai, and my latest venture is in Nigeria as well. I'm not sure if some of my Nigerian friends are here on this Zoom call, but Nigeria has just started, and Cambodia has just started just this year, and it's been a great journey. And opening up markets with Enagic has been phenomenal because we see that the company is growing and they want to grow and they want to go to different territories compared to certain companies who are very complacent. They're happy where they are. And Enagic company, they are the original manufacturer of the Kangen water machines, and I believe a lot of us here are already Kangen water users. Some of you not yet. If you want to know more about Kangen water, it won't be explained tonight. You can go back to the person that invited you onto this Zoom to learn more about Kangen water. They are the original manufacturer of it in Osaka, Japan. So this is Enagic. Yeah. And they have international awards and recognitions all around the world. And we've been building our global business around the world for the last 7 to 10 years. Personally, 7 years. I've been building this business around the world, including the Middle East and Nigeria and India. All right. So I'm truly excited now because somebody asked any objection regarding lifespan of 5 years. Nope. We buy an iPhone today, it will last us about 3 to 4 years and it costs about $2,000. So we have to understand electronics. All electronics have a lifespan. And I believe 5 years is about the average lifespan of most electronics, in fact, a bit longer than typical electronics. And according to the manufacturer, it does not mean after 5 years it doesn't work, but the coverage range could be lesser. So we don't know. We just have to wait till 5 years to start testing the coverage range. Okay? So it will still work after 5 years, but it may not cover such a big area as day one because of older electronics. Yeah, but it will still work. If you're putting it next to your laptop and all that, 1, 2, 3 meters, I'm pretty sure it will still work. Yeah, so 5 years is quite fair. Yeah. So I'm going to go into the business plan, guys. For those of you who are already in Enagic business, okay, you don't need to buy an emGuarde to start the business, to start receiving emGuarde commissions. As long as you're already in the system, if you have somebody below you that buys an emGuarde, you also get paid. But what we have seen in the market in Malaysia and Singapore is all the leaders are buying up the emGuardes because they're all so afraid of the radiation once they start to know about it. So eventually everybody also starts buying it. Yeah, but as long as you're in the system, you're already an emGuarde distributor. But please get your emGuarde and your detector when the time comes. Because guys, this is Enagic 2.0. This is Enagic 2.0. So for the benefit of new people, you have your direct sales in this business. So everybody that buys an emGuarde, we call it a direct sales. And all the people who start sharing the emGuarde with other people, this is what we call indirect sales. And the total, we call it group sales. Okay? Now, Enagic pays out multiple different types of commissions. Now, I believe there are many overseas people here, but this business plan will be done in the Malaysian currency, which is ringgit. If you want to convert ringgit to pounds, just take the ringgit and divide it by 5 or even 6. Just make it 5. Yeah, if you want to convert it to dollar, just do it 5. Just approximately divide it by 5. You get your dollar or pound equivalent. Okay? And what happens is it's just like the 8A system of the Kangen machines. The 8A system also applies to the emGuarde, and Enagic allocates a budget of 2,400 ringgit for the distributors per emGuarde, and the 2,400 ringgit is split into 8 parts or 8As. What I'll be doing moving forward is I'll be converting all these numbers to dollars for the next week or week after, so that it's easier for our friends from overseas to also catch up. Okay, so 300 ringgit is 1A commission. Now, for those of you who already own a Kangen machine, means you are a Kangen member. Your commission is not 300 ringgit. Your commission is 390 ringgit, which is 30% more. Now, this commission that I'm sharing with you is the commission for people who start the emGuarde business with the emGuarde. Are you guys following with me so far? So Enagic is giving a preference for those people who actually bought a Kangen machine. You would be earning 30% more commissions on all the emGuarde sales below you. If you're following what I'm saying, can you just type a number 1 in the chat box? If you don't understand what I just said, you can ask me to repeat. Yeah? For those of you who are already Enagic members, your commission will be 390 ringgit, which is 30% higher. Okay? So same thing for whatever foreign currency conversion that you guys are doing. So just understand that if you buy an emGuarde and start selling emGuarde, your commission is 300 ringgit every 1A. But if you are an Enagic machine registered distributor, every emGuarde is 30% higher in terms of commissions. Okay? Price of emGuarde is still the same. Okay? So how does this actually work? Tika asked a very good question. Can emGuarde distributors sell Kangen machines? Answer is yes. And you would receive Kangen machines commissions. No higher, no lower. Just like any other Kangen distributor. Okay? So that is what a lot of people are doing. They are buying emGuardes to start. And once they get to a higher ranking, which I'm going to be discussing now, they start to sell Kangen machines. Yeah? And they can receive the full Kangen commission. So this is the ranking system, guys. When you start to market the emGuarde, your first 2 units, the company calls it 1A, and you make 300 ringgit each. When you go to your 3rd unit, the commission doubles to 600 ringgit every single unit. Okay? You make 600, 600, and every emGuarde you sell. And once you get to 3A, after 10 cumulative group sales, you get to 3A and you make 900 ringgit. And once you achieve 20 group sales, oh, I think somebody's sorry. So if you're not speaking, kindly please make sure you mute yourself. I'm just going to remove the option to unmute once and for all. Okay, so 4A, that's where you hit 4A when you have more than 20 cumulative emGuarde group sales. And after that, you make 1,200 ringgit on every emGuarde sale. And guys, those of you who are already in Enagic, doesn't this make life easy? You can market and sell 20 group sales of emGuarde and become a 4A. Is that good news? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing here? Which means you can have 20 group sales and achieve 4A and sell a Kangen machine as a 4A and make 4A in the Kangen machine. So I'm talking to those existing Enagic distributors. Yeah? So you can use emGuarde to rank up very fast. And after 50, now you're at 5A. And every unit, you make 1,500 ringgit. Now, for those of you existing distributors, we know to become 6A, how many group sales do we need? Can you guys put it into the chat box? How many group sales do we need to become 6A? All right. Correct. 101, right? Or 100 or 101. Now for emGuarde, I have put here 200 for the simple reason that when you're selling emGuarde only, you need about 200 units to become a 6A because the sales value of emGuarde is $1,480. Remember? Because in Enagic, you need $300,000 to become a 6A. So I didn't want to create any confusion. Now, if this person is only marketing and selling emGuarde, you need 200 cumulative emGuarde group sales to become a 6A. Is that clear so far? More like 202, yeah? Just do some calculation. But the reality of it is, down the line, people sell the Kangen machines to Wukon and the NSPA. That is a reality. Yeah, people will sell everything of emGuarde. But if it's only emGuarde, it will be 200. Still very good, because when a home buys a Kangen machine, normally, how many machines will people buy for their home? Can you guys type in the number? Normally, how many machines would people normally buy for their house? One. Yeah, normally people will buy one. But guess what is the number for emGuarde now? People are buying about 2 to 3 units per packs. Just now, Joel mentioned that he himself bought 3. I bought 3 plus 1. I bought 4. 1 for the travel, 3 for the home. That's me. For the last 9 years, I've only bought 1 Kangen machine, but I bought 3 emGuardes. What does that tell you? You will be selling a lot more units per household. Yeah, because of the coverage range of emGuarde. YY Chang asks, if a distributor sells 10 units of emGuarde to a single purchaser, is the commission times 10 or 1? Of course it's times 10. Yeah, of course it's times 10. Depending on your rank and your times 10. Nelson asks, what commission a new distributor get when he start with emGuarde and wait, but what commission a new distributor gets when he starts with emGuarde and then buy a Kangen machine? Will he get extra 30%? Yes. The moment, example, Nelson, you are the distributor. You bought an emGuarde, you started to sell the emGuarde, and you're making 300 ringgit every 1A. The moment you purchase a Kangen machine, your 1A commission now has become 390 ringgit, 30% more. The moment you buy the Kangen machine, yeah, you get upgraded. Yeah, so it's a no-brainer because everybody needs to drink the Kangen water as well, and they're buying it to drink the water, and at the same time, they will be also earning 30% more on the emGuarde commissions. Okay? So this is the, if you have any more questions, just keep it coming in the chat box. I will answer it from time to time. Okay? And this is how the indirect sales work, guys. The indirect sales works exactly like the Kangen machine sales. So your first 2 lanes are what we call the 1A lanes. And every single unit that comes under the 1A lane, you're going to override 300 ringgit. For the last 5 months, I have grown 3 new teams in Malaysia with emGuarde. Means they joined with emGuarde, they built emGuarde, and at the end of the day, most of them also bought the Kangen machine. Is that wonderful, ladies and gentlemen? That is what has happened in the last 5 months. They buy the emGuarde, they sell the emGuarde after they also bought the Kangen machine because they say, hey, I'm losing 30% of commissions. Why not? I get the machine, and that time they're already of 3A or 4A or 5A. They're getting back 4 to 5A commissions from the company, and they get a machine, right? And they get to earn 30% more on their emGuarde sales. This is how we sell more, all right? And they subsequently bought their Wukons and all that. So emGuarde is a great opener to the emGuarde business. Number 1 is new. And number 2 is patented. Nobody can do this but emGuarde. That's finished. That's the main point I need to talk about. Nobody can do this but emGuarde. Yeah? So there's no competitor. There's no competitor in the market. Okay? Now, before I proceed with the business plan, you may have seen some people, they buy all these anti-radiation stickers. I don't know what, all this kind of stuff, cost $10, $20. I think the technical team here have done a lot of testing. None of them work. When you put a detector on it, everything still rings. So I don't know why people buy this kind of stuff. emGuarde is the only one that has shown the effects with a demo. And I think Kangen people, we are demo people. We want to see evidence. We want to see real results. Then we can show it to the customers. Not just talk, right? Okay. Let me continue. Under 2A, every single emGuarde, you're going to make 600 ringgit. And after 10 group sales, when you sell the next emGuarde, you're going to be making 900 ringgit on your 3A, and the story continues. So you're going to be overriding 600 ringgit Malaysia of all the emGuardes under your 2A line until a certain level. Because remember, every unit, the company set aside 2,400 ringgit. And it's divided into 8As. So the moment you have a sale all the way down here, Dawn, let's look at how the 8As are paid. So when John gets 1A commission, that is 7As left. Bob gets 2A commission, that's 5As left. Ani gets 2A commissions, That is 3A left from the 8A. Kim gets the balance 2A. That is 1A left in the 8A commission. Therefore, for this sale that is so many levels away from you, you still make 1A commission with 300 ringgit. I think it's quite easy for most of you guys to understand. Every emGuarde, the company sets aside 2,400 ringgit or 8A commissions to be paid among the distributors. And the commissions will go bottom up. Second sale, you make another 300. But on the third sale, John starts to become a 2A distributor and he makes 2A commission. Bob makes 2A commission. Arnie makes 2A commission. Kim makes 2A commission. So in this scenario, the entire 8As have been paid to your team members. Therefore, we call it a non-8A sale. So this is the cutoff. However, because of the Energic business, this is not one of those left and right things. You can have many lanes. Ali, Abu, Ani, May. You will have many lanes opening up, selling emGuardes. Your overriding is almost unlimited as long as you're always sponsoring and recruiting new people. All right? And once you get to 4A, every new person you bring in is 1,200 ringgit per emGuarde. They buy, and every time they sell, you make 1,200 ringgit. So just imagine you have a Tony. Let's say he's in somebody was from Birmingham, right? You have a Tony in Birmingham selling 10 emGuardes for you. That's 12,000 ringgit. I don't know how much that's in dollars. That's about $2,500 every month if he's selling 10 units every month. Yeah, you can create people marketing emGuardes around the world. And let's say on 5A, you have me, every unit I sell, you make 1,500. And once you get to 6A, every single person you bring in that sells the emGuarde, you make 1,800 ringgit. And as I mentioned, per household, the average, they buy more than one unit. So you're looking at selling about an average of 2 units per household. So that's immediately 3,600 ringgit per household of commissions for emGuarde, because 2 times 1,800, because that is the average. That's why in Malaysia, since emGuarde was introduced, the sales of the branch actually doubled. So whatever Kangen machines we were selling double the Kangen machines amount. Sorry, the sales number tripled, because whatever Kangen machines we were selling, when emGuarde came in, emGuarde was selling double the Kangen machines number, which means the total branch sales has increased by about 2 to 3 times, which is very substantial. And I want you to understand that for your organization. If your organization is doing about 20 or 30 or 40 units a month now, get ready to see it jump from 20 to 30 to 50 to 60 to even 100, because there's always this multiply effect when we talk about business, right? And it's a new product. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, is there any more questions in the chat box? Bala said, I heard this product already exists in the market. The emGuarde has already been in the Malaysian market for a few years, couple years now, but they were not selling very well because they were selling it through exhibition centers, wellness centers, things like that. People didn't even know. I didn't even know about emGuarde until Energic took over and became the exclusive distributor of the brand globally. Yeah, so it is true that it's already existing in the market, but not many people know about it. Outside of Malaysia, even lesser. So Tika asked, when will it be in the UK? Estimated time? No idea, my friend. No idea. This one depends on Europe, depends on Energic. Us Malaysia, why we're doing these Zoom calls, because the product started in Energic Malaysia. We are the first branch, so we are the ones getting a lot of first-hand information. So we sort of feel we have the duty to share the knowledge with the rest of the distributors around the world, and to get those of you who are passionate about the project to be ready first, in the pre-launch phase. And the moment it comes, such type of product already exists, but you said no. I see. You can watch some of the videos we have done in the Telegram group. Just reminded me to post. We have actually compared emGuarde with other so-called anti-radiation products, and none of them can pass the detector test. Not even one. All of them, they are selling it based on their brochure. That if you have this in your house, it's supposed to reduce radiation and give you better energy, etc., etc., etc. And they deal in different ways. Yeah. So some says it emits positive frequency. I don't know. It's a bunch of stuff. I don't believe things that can't be proven. And I'm sure every product has their own merits. They have their own ways of why they made their product. But until I can see that it can be tested in front of me with a tool, then I would believe it works. Yeah. And with emGuarde now, why we believe in it so much is number one, enagic. You know, I've been with enagic for 7 years. Do you think enagic will bring in a 6:30 product? I don't think so, right? We are talking about $8 billion company with 49 years of experience around the market. They only bring in the best. And you don't see enagic bringing in products all the time. You know, we've been selling the Kangen machine for years. You know, so it is a statement. And I believe they have done over a year of due diligence on the product. And yeah, so that is the emGuarde. Okay, and the Telegram link, let me just get the link. For those of you who want to know more about the technical side of it, the competition, are there other products out there? Please go to the Telegram link. Please go to the Telegram link. And in the Telegram group, you'll be able to watch the training videos. We call it emGuarde Intensive Training. It's about an hour, 45 minutes or an hour. And you will learn more about the emGuarde. Somebody asks, is this manufactured by enagic? Answer is no. emGuarde is made in Malaysia. That's why it started in Malaysia. Yeah, the technology belongs to a bunch of engineers in Malaysia. And they are the ones that have created emGuarde. So emGuarde is made in Malaysia, but it is globally distributed by enagic. Okay? So it's not made in Osaka. I'm going to post the emGuarde official